Ah, good. Because Pahan told me stop event, I mean ready. I think the crowd tonight will be lesser than yesterday. This one, the worker party one already. You are waiting for Allah. Oh, dear. They mean these two can work together. You're a speaker.
我一定在前面，不用紧。我每个党我很少来都是在前面。啊，我又有生怕没，我今天第5天的，因为我每个党我很少。啊。还有什么话我可以讲？
Quantify. Huh? Cannot do you have? No problem, no problem. Okay. Anyway, one. Okay. Hello. No. Stand here. Stand here. Ah, okay. Okay.
Welcome to Happy TV's live coverage of GE2015. We'll be streaming the rallies and getting immediate reactions live and uncensored. We're here today at Radin Delta Hockey Field for Reform Party's rally today. And the candidate for Radin Mas SMC is Kumar Apravu. Currently there's not much of a crowd. It's 7:10, but there's still not much of a crowd. They might be coming in later. And once the rally starts, we'll get the coverage underway. So stay tuned.
Good. This truck almost to the door.
他这个进去很大，后来有一天呢，老黄他姓汪嘛，他说：“哎，学校这样我们就没有读书，这样的知道我没有读书，我们太太只是别的对不对？他就是跟我太太讲，我听不懂那件事，他不听不看我也懂不懂。我太太讲，这个人你不要开玩笑啊，那边多讲可以打赢了，还几又第二次不要给他看到。他一直讲你那边这个萝卜不可以打赢，你放飞人家听到了怎么办？”这个萝卜，将那个萝卜说不可以放车，你就不可以放车了。一条线不可以放车，你就不可以放车。啊，我要买东西啊，这边是可以放车，以后你大妈才来买，老妈跟校长讲，那个这个读书怎么这样子？老婆子可以玩，好不好？好来，我们要知道是在我们可以啦，可以啦。只有来这边游泳啊。一个钟頭啦，到佢就哇，快10百幾啦，那我们大哥要还只要不动要搬去那边的，啊，不要命啊！我骂他，骂人就骂过。
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to Delta Stadium. And a very, very good evening to the people of Radin Mas. The Reform Party is here to fight for every single vote of all of you. Let us welcome the first speaker for the day, Mr. Jesse Liu, the candidate for Ang Mo Kio GRT. Give him a big hand.
Welcome, Ang Mo Kio. Auntie, just give me a minute. Okay, fellow Singaporeans, how are you feeling tonight? I thought only the Amma sit behind, those who are able-bodied. I wish you all could come forward here and join the camaraderie, togetherness, because I need you all to do something later on, okay? So please come forward. Please come. It's always very nice to come back to my grandmother's place, where I actually grew up in the Alexandra village along the ABC Strip, Jalan Bukit Merah, back in the post-65. I was born in 63. I'm 52 years old. My name is Jess Liu. Li Hermu. Hermu Xiang Chu. Okay? Hermu. I got a very good name. My role here is to unite people of Singapore to come together. We have no lack of talent, except there's wrong kind of talent. Of course, we have to sift through. Talent that makes Singaporeans feel more miserable by the day. As you know, Singapore politics is quite mundane and boring over the years, so we're not here to provide entertainment. We're not Comedy Central. But we do not want to be brainwashed, or some people joke as whitewashing our brain, you know. Have you all seen the tombstone, you know? It's white outside. When you open up the tombstone, it's got a lot of dirty skeletons. Okay, so with this in mind, I shall begin my speech. Is everybody ready? I want everyone to turn to their neighbor and say, we can make a change. Shall we do that? Can you please turn to the neighbor and say, we can make a change.
We can make a change.
We can make a change. Very good. Thank you very much. It's not as easy. We know the task ahead is grueling, because when you're doing the right thing, sometimes things like persecution come. When you're doing the right thing, you notice when you're not a threat to the PAP machinery, people leave you alone. So, I had my fair share last few days. I won't be talking about CPF and minimum wage and MRT, because a lot of my talented candidate colleagues here, they will be talking about this. But what I shall talk about tonight is what I've been reading over the social media about what is the concern. Simi buntui, lameng e buntui.小林想要把这物件甲你讲出来。阿妈讲你若莫担心，我福建无什么好，我简单讲，吼，钱无够，买100块真正紧了，菜本了，什么本贵 ？CPF 本无通用，200块真正紧就开掉。So I've been speaking English right now. Các bạn có học kể hoàn tiệm mà, tất nhiên đi nào听. I want to answer some questions that Singaporeans like you have, since I'm not going to talk about issues and topics. You will hear in the next few days from the man in white, from the PAP, that opposition is actually here to ruin Singapore. Are we Singaporeans?
Yes.
Are we here to ruin Singapore?
Oh, I want my CPF back.
Who is the one that is ruined? Who has been ruined in Singapore? It is none else than Singaporeans. We have been ruined for the last 30 to 40 years. Now, they will say that Singapore cannot have opposition. We will melt down. Singapore cannot function. But let me tell you, we still have Singapore service, civil service law enforcement. We still have the judiciary system. Our system is very good, built by our founder, which I respect. But I think times have changed, and we need a change. There is nothing to fear. There is no singular political party that you should fear than PAP, because oppositions, if they are voted in, do you think they can do what one party can do easily? No, of course not. We've been taught in school that two heads are always better than one. We've been taught in school that if you put all the stakes together and unite, you are strong. Isn't it, people? Am I right to say that? We are taught in school that if you brainstorm, your ideas become very good. So if one party is to brainstorm and it has a party whip, you are not able to think out of the box. Think out of the box. Unless the party whip is lifted, which is rarely. Yeah. That's right, Uncle. So let's be concerned about the bread and butter issues, the policy issues. Not concerned about a lot of law that cannot solve. Can law solve your money issue? Cannot. Can law solve moral issues? It cannot. Maybe philosophy can. Law cannot. Law enforces. Once you go to court, that's it. There will be a decision. Law cannot help two parties. It can only help one party. Am I right to say that? Now, much has been said about the widening income gap between Singaporeans, the rich elites and the low-income workers to the middle income. In fact, middle-income group has been disappeared, tapered down quite a lot over the last 30, 40 years because of bankruptcy, maybe because of failed business. All this because our government has grown too big. When you have a big government, you have a small society. 我们要大世界，不是大政府。有聽無？真正簡單。
對啦。
我人賣小世界，小世界做人民真艱苦，做人民拿 MRT 架路，拿 hawker center 小拍小賣 ，because of small thing。我人賣小世界，我人愛大世界。所以小林甲 Reform Party 需要帶新加坡去大世界嘅，嗬。Another question, number 2. 第二個問題。We are out to raid Singapore Reserve. Are we out to raid Reserve? Singapore Reserve are protected by key holder and safeguard, even elected president. Can we do that? We can't, right? It's a good system. If our reserves are easily raided, that means our existing system is of no use. then our president is of no use, right? And the president should not also take sides on policy issue, release money out for a certain party and not release out for another party. Am I right to say that? We want Singapore to be fair. How many of you have heard that? We want Singapore to be fair. Can we turn around to our neighbor and say, we want Singapore to be fair? Please, we want Singapore to be fair. Turn around.
We want Singapore to be fair. And take out the PAP.
Number 3 question. Number 3 FAQs. Oppositions can pass policy, can anyhow pass the policy law and keep things for themselves, earmark policies, money, and grab their policy for themselves. I see a lot of learned people in Radin Mas. Radin Mas is a very mature estate. And that's the reason why I come today with this frequently asked question. We need Parliament to have many ideas, pluralism of ideas. We cannot have Parliament to be monopolized. And the 6.9 million population is one key reason why monopoly ensures that 6.9 million white paper is passed through because of inadequate numbers from the opposition.
PAP 66.5 million. Where to get the job for so many million?
That's right. We need to be very careful about such things. That only one party can form policy. It's not true. So we need you all to understand. Opposition members, number 4 question, are hooligans. We are not hooligans. We are all universally trained. I think it's very difficult to go to university these days because the cost is very low. In fact, some of the ministers say, no need to go university, you can also get a job now. Because they know the cost of university is very expensive. And yet, university are reserved for a lot of foreigners because of the bar they raise. Singaporeans cannot go in. They reserve it for foreigners. 30,000-40,000 a year for each person, foreigners. We do not believe in mudslinging tactics. We look beyond surface accusation and why ministers attack us. We understand. We shall not be sidetracked over the next few days. And I want you all to remember, focus, keep our Reform Party in your mind, and put a cross on Reform Party on that day.
Don't worry, you get my vote.
Thank you very much, sir. Very much obliged. 5th question, Singapore is doomed and there will be no political stability. It's not true. Look at many countries around us, they change government. I shall not name them. Japan is one of them. They never crumble, right? You must learn to differentiate between national stability and political stability. They are different. The nation is considered stable because policies are debated, scrutinized, and checked thoroughly before a law is being passed. Okay, so don't worry about that. So in conclusion, I want to end because my time is up. Stop worrying about a non-monopolized parliament. Stop worrying about opposition going in. We have able men now. Some of the opposition members don't go to jail just for fun. No. They did it for you. Think about it. Singaporeans, you need to step up and help yourself to be empowered, to have a better future tomorrow, today. You need that. So, everybody has this. We want to return CPF to you at 55 years old. That is normal. Before 1984 is normal. Child benefit of $300 per month per child. For those who are below 16 years old. Old age pension, anybody above 65, raise your hands. You will get $500. That is our social agreement. If you vote us in, we will fight for you for that. Minimum wage across the board. We shall cap foreign workers coming in. Okay, because we have many talented Singaporeans. We will give you a stake in GIC and Temasek. a stake. That is doable. They do it all the time by taking money out and paying you. We will abolish MediSave above 65 years old and under 18-year-old. Free MediSave premium. So that those who are out of work, they don't have to worry. So in conclusion, stop worrying about us going into parliament. A monopolized parliament by one party is more dangerous than many parties because we have more checks and balance among ourselves. So thank you very much, people and residents of Radin Mas. Thank you for coming down. I shall now hand the next speaker is Mr. Andy. So vote for Reform Party. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. That's our banker. He's not Rothschild, Rockefeller, Morgan, Schiff, or Warburg. He's our banker. Ladies and gentlemen, people who come to a seminar, who come to a political rally like this, come to a meeting, they're looking for the betterment of the future. But most of these people are dreaming. It takes guts to change. It takes pain to change. You have to make the first move to change.
What you in? Don't worry.
You see, when you go to the street, you see good Lee Hsien Loong picture everywhere. He's making a statement. The theme of this election is leadership. So if you are happy with all the policies, not getting CPF at 55, the crowded MRT, if you are happy, you vote for PAP.
Take the foreigners home.
But if you think something can be done, you have to make the first move. Ladies and gentlemen, the next speaker is our chairman, Mr. Andy. Please welcome Mr. Andy.
"亲爱的拉丁马居民们，你们好！我是革新党的主席朱来成。今天我很荣幸能够在此参与这场群众大会。我也是西海岸的候选人。今晚是我第二次参与大选。我们革新党将继续的帮助人民传达心声。首先，让我来介绍革新党的起源。革新党是由惹耶勒南在2008年所创立的。在他过世后，肯尼斯接手了他的重任，完成父亲的愿望。他继续帮助新加坡人。当时革新党的领袖，他们并肩解决问题，继续为新加坡人民争取正义、民主以及权利。自从肯尼斯接手后，我们革新党继续走访，就在走访时，都用心的去了解新加坡人的想法和需求。我们并不是和居民握握手而已，我们也不是在大选莅临之前才莫名其妙的落泪。我们为了新加坡，为了他的人民，几乎忘了自我。拉丁马的选民，你们一定要投革新党一票，让我们在国会里替你们说话。
我们是你们的代表。
我投你的票，你放谁？
谢谢。如今我们革新党第2次参选，我们更了解人民的心声。当我们在走访时，很多新加坡人担心生活费的高涨，没有政府主屋居住，昂贵的医药费和必须填补公积金医药保健的负担。我们革新党觉得，要是身为政府，不应该让人民有这样的烦恼。你们说对吗？因为只有你们最了解你们自己家园的需要，只有你们才能够让新加坡繁荣起来。我们革新党在此向大家承诺，当我们入选后，我们将成为一名全职的议员，并把10%的收入捐出来。我们将全心全意为大家服务。我是朱来成，革新党的代表，请把票投给我们革新党。谢谢。Good evening, friends and voters of Radin Mas. How are you tonight? My name is Andy. I'm the chairman of the Reform Party. I have been with the party since 2008. And I am also a candidate for West Coast GRC. It is my pleasure to be here tonight to speaking to you, the Singaporeans. You are here tonight because you want answers. You want answers to solve the problems that you have now. It is not me who gave you the problems tonight. You have to understand, we do not oppose because we are just the opposition, as what people call us. We oppose because we think that the policies are not right for the Singaporeans. So please do not call us as the oppositions. We are a political party for the sake of all Singaporeans. You want to make sure that we solve the problems that every Singaporeans are facing now. We are not just going to talk. We are going to bring you the solutions. I'm not going to waste any of your time now. Do you think that those senior citizens collecting card boxes and drink cans are collecting for just their leisure? It's not. You have seen them. You have heard of them. It is not that we want to keep repeating the collection of cardboards, aunties and uncles. We are not trying to bring them to fame. But this is the fact. Why? Why do they have to collect card boxes to earn a living? We don't see that in the past. But now as the time comes by, it's more commonly that you see them. And they are our Singaporeans. And we call them pioneer citizens or the pioneer generations. Is that what we want to see them doing? We can't. It is my moral obligation to be here tonight in Radin Mas SMC. I do not understand why do they want it to call SMC or even a GRC. The Reform Party hopes to abolish GRCs. Do you think putting the wards in SMCs or GRCs will help? It can only help the PAPs to lump together. I don't think we agree with some of the policies we have been trying to live by. Am I right? Do you like people to tell you you have no choice? Please follow my ruling. You can't do anything. Do you like that?
No,
How can you make a change?
I vote you. I put it in parliament.
Use your power. Vote for the Reform Party. Put a cross next to it, and you will change the things that you wouldn't want. You will be helping a lot of Singaporeans by doing so. On the 11th of September, that is the time that you empower and you show your anger or your unhappiness to them. You need not put the vote next to my face for West Coast URC, or need not put a vote next to Mr. Kumar Apavu's face. Put the vote in the box. Cross it out. You can even tick. It is counted. I read in the papers yesterday, the PAP says that the Workers' Party are telling the elderlies, if you do not like us, put a vote, put a cross next to the ballot box. That's what they say. But I have heard of these rumors that the PAP's RC people are already doing this. But I have no proof, which is why I did not quote. So since then, the papers reported. So I believe someone is telling the truth. But who started first, I do not know. It is up to your own judgment. Have you noticed the sittings in the parliament? If you look closely, you will see that the ministers are dozing off. They are sleeping. Why is that so? Is it because there is nothing new to talk about? Do they care about Singaporeans?
No! Because they are sleeping, because they are yes men. That's why they never say anything.
They don't have to listen. They just have to follow. We call them followers. The leaders are all here. And even in those in the private condos and HDBs who can hear me, we are the leaders. I have to say it again. It is now your vote to make a change. Put in your faith in us or in any opposition party who stand out, because we do not oppose just for the sake of opposing. We have better things to do. We are not just going against the people for the parliament. We stand up for citizens of Singapore. We are here regardless of race and language or religion. We are here because I am Singapore, and you make Singapore a more prosperous country. Let's vote for a brighter future tomorrow, today. We are just like our fellow Singaporean citizens. Our citizens felt protected, and when they are cared for, they contribute back to the society. It would definitely make Singapore a much better place to live in. This is the problem. The cost of living is getting higher, but our wages remains unchanged. This is the truth. You go to a coffee shop or even a food center, a plate of rice used to cost $3. But now, it is close to $5. But your salary remains the same. It has been 4.5 years since the last election. What has been changed? Your age. You grew older. Your pocket grew longer. But you don't feel that your pocket is heavier. This is what has changed. The things that has not changed is when you get your pay, you pay your bills at the AXS machine. Who do you pay to? You pay your tax. You pay your PUB. That's a necessity. Is it too high to pay? Nothing has changed. So why want to vote for the PAP? Why not tell your friends and get those elitists to wake up their idea for a brighter tomorrow? If JBJ was here tonight, he will tell you the same thing. Wake up, Singaporeans! We have the JBJ spirit in our mind. He's always here. He is Mr. Joshua Benjamin Jeratnam. We have set aside so much for CPF. I believe that every one of you have planned. When you are at 45, you are telling your friends, my CPF 裏邊真多，你55歲，我會使紅上了。When you reach 52, 食啦了咯，能拔掉我的鐳，無變啊變好。Am I right to say so? When you are closer to 55, they draw the timeline away. Now, they say it's 65. 当你要到55岁之前，他跟你说，对不起，我们现在延迟65岁，你就吃了咯。我们不要让这个事情发生。现在一到65岁，你每个月他们叫做 drawdown， 你得只可以拿1200块左右。你觉得这样够吗？如果够的话，新加坡人会担心吗？有几个人的户口里面有160千？有吗？没有，没有，哪里有？有可能每个月拿1200吗？没有。所以，今天我继续的站在这里，向大家表白，在我走访的时候，人家所跟我诉的苦，我听了很心酸。我们革新党将废除医疗保健的保费，居民65岁以上无需给保费，但是仍然受保。The Reform Party will abolish medicare life premium for Singaporeans over 65 and for those below 18 years old. We want our money back, and this is for sure. We, the Reform Party, will voice out the concerns of all Singaporeans. It is not just the votes that we represent. We represent Singapore. We do not just represent Radin Mas, West Coast or Ang Mo Kio. The Reform Party believes the cabinet should consist of a team who truly understands the people. We are this team. We can bring solutions. Singapore needs a drastic change. Another 4 years is too late. We cannot wait. We cannot live with the status quo. Do not let it get any worse. We will not let Singapore, Radin Mas, SMC, and West Coast GRC, Ang Mo Kio GRC go to the bottom of the totem pole any longer. No. The Reform Party has candidates who share the same desire to build a more robust and vibrant Singapore. We are not elites, but we are the elites of your heart. We will be fearless in demanding transparency, accountability on your behalf. Vote wisely. Vote for a better future. vote for the Reform Party and let your voice be heard. Vote for us. 把你们的票投给革新党，让我们把你的心声给代表出来。不要怕，不要担心。要是我们做得不好，4年半到5年，你可以另外选择。可是请不要忘记，4年半前你给过他们机会进步，请不要再犯下这个错误，把票投给革新党。谢谢。
Thank you, Mr. Andy. That's our chairman. Fiery speaker. I would like to call upon all the speakers up to the stage. Can all the speakers up the stage? Thank you. Mr. Kumar, Mr. Darren, Mr. Osman, Mr. Kenneth, Roy. Hello. Before I call upon the next speaker, I would like to tell a story about leadership. About Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great, on his way to conquer India, he had to pass the desert, the Afghanistan desert. So while passing the desert, it was really hot. And there was no water, ladies and gentlemen. So his soldiers look for water, but they cannot find water, in the desert. But due to luck, one of the soldiers managed to get some water. Of course, naturally, that soldier have to give to Alexander the Great. But the problem is that water is just enough for one person. So Alexander the Great took the water, enough for one person. And in front of thousands of soldiers, these thousands of soldiers just watching. But instead of drinking the water, this was what he did. That is leadership, ladies and gentlemen. That is the kind of leadership we want, not the kind of leader who pay himself millions of dollars and there's poor people looking for tin cans and cardboards. And you have the cheek to hang your photo everywhere around the island. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, a lady. Please welcome Ms. Noraini.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here representing Reform Party. My name is Noraini binti Yunus. I'm from West Coast GRC. Thank you for coming all the way from other places to attend our rally. I'll be speaking in Malay first, and maybe later on, if I have time, I'll be speaking in English. For those who have this kind of flyer, voucher, maybe you'd like to go through with me in Malay, the section in Malay. I'll be reading from here and I'll be explaining all this ikrar or our promise if we will get elected to Parliament to serve you as we can, as much as we can. Okay, the first one, Assalamualaikum, saya Noraini binti Yunus, saya mewakili Parti Reform untuk GRC West Coast. Yang pertama, saya ingin mengumpulkan ikrar kami kepada anda ialah kembalikan CPF pada usia 55 tahun dan membuat simpanan itu menjadi pilihan bebas. Jumlah CPF yang minimal yang meningkat setiap tahun demi tahun, tak ramai orang-orang Melayu kita dapat mencecah sumbangan CPF tahunan 5,000 dan ke atas. Jadi minimum had jumlah yang ada tu tetap akan terlalu tinggi bagi kita, dan jika kita turunkan pun ke taraf paras 55 tahun ni untuk diberi pulang, tak semua akan dipulangkan kepada kita. Jadi taklah mendadak ya kalau kita tuntut CPF dipulangkan seawal 55 tahun ya, tak termasuklah duit-duit lain yang ada bilingnya tu untuk bayar rumah, bayar education anak-anak kita, pelajaran anak kita dan sebagainya. Jadi tak perlulah kita heboh-heboh tentang pemerintah berasa gusar bila kita tuntut gaji kita yang dipotong CPF tu untuk dipulangkan lebih awal, dan jumlah had minima pun mungkin boleh kita kurangkan juga bila dipulangkan. Dan kedua ialah faedah anak sebanyak 300 setiap bulan bagi kanak-kanak. Faedah anak 300 setiap bulan ni dapat membantu orang-orang Melayu kita untuk meningkatkan taraf mungkin kelahiran. Sampai kita lihat pendatang dari negara-negara lain termasuk India telah melebihi paras Melayu yang ada. Jadi peratusan Melayu begitu rendah sekarang, dan banyak tempat lagi kita lihat kita tak ada langsung perwakilan Melayu. Jadi saya rasa bimbang juga kalau masyarakat begini menyingkirkan masyarakat kita. Jadi kita tak ada tempat langsung. Tempat kita bukan di Singapura lagi, yang tanah tumpah darah kita sebelum ni. Jadi hati-hatilah bila kita hendakkan benefit ataupun peruntukan yang dapat kita bantu. Sebenarnya kita meringankan beban yang kita dah alami sekarang ini. Dan juga nombor 3, gaji minima secara menyeluruh. Gaji minima yang kita rasakan sekarang ni tak ada langsung. Jadi ramai peniaga-peniaga Melayu kecil juga ada membuat kecil-kecilan pembukaan meniaga pelaburan seperti makanan, tuition dan sebagainya. Tapi kalau tak ada minima, ramai yang nak menceburi bidang ni akan terus tertarik, dan gaji kita akan semakin rendah. Sebab kita perlu meningkatkan juga perniagaan dan perniagaan orang-orang Melayu. Jadi dengan itu, kalau ada perlindungan seperti gaji minima, orang-orang Melayu kita tidak akan terburu-buru untuk mendapatkan lesen untuk berniaga. Jadi pekerja Melayu tidak akan terjejas dengan mungkin pendapatan yang terlalu rendah atau tak dipulangkan gaji. Pernah berlaku CPF, badan CPF mengheret majikan ke mahkamah untuk membayarkan gaji CPF, sumbangan CPF. Tetapi dia orang lupa gaji pokok yang tak dibayar oleh majikan. Jadi bila dia bawakan ke tengah kepada Kementerian Manpower ataupun Sumber Tenaga Manusia, mereka tidak dapat membantu langsung. Jadi yang didapatkan hanyalah CPF dan bukan cash. Dan keadaan itu teruk sekali. Sebab banyak yang membayar apa yang disuruh pemerintah, apa yang mereka tuntut secara lawyer atau secara legal, secara guaman pun tak terbayar. Jadi dengan itu kita rasa rugi jika peniaga-peniaga segini masuk lagi ke Singapura dan terus membuat perniagaan begini. Jadi dah bayar sikit saja, kita tak dapat langsung meraihkan hasil titik peluh kita. Semua masukkan CPF lagi, tak ada cash langsung. Okey, dan juga nombor 4, pencen tua sebanyak 500 setiap bulan untuk umur 65 ke atas. Walaupun kita tak nampak warga Melayu untuk pungut-pungut kutip ataupun kotak-kotak, tapi alhamdulillah jika kita dapat sumbangan sebegini, kita tidak perlukan anak-anak kita yang sedang menjaga cucu kita untuk berpelajaran tinggi dan sebagainya, itu tertekan sekali. Jadi bantuan yang kita harapkan dari mana-mana pihak yang boleh membantu ni amatlah berkesan untuk meringankan beban kita. Dan saya rasa parti reform dengan saranan kami boleh membantu meningkatkan taraf masyarakat Singapura. Pepatah Datuk Hang Tua, tidak Melayu hilang di dunia, harus kita semua hidupkan di Singapura ini. Bersaing dengan kaum India, Cina dan orang-orang cacukan sebagainya. Tempatnya adalah tumpah darah kita. Kalau tahun lalu pilihan raya yang kita dengarkan, Perdana Majlis yang mengatakan politik bukan masak-masak, yang tempatnya hanya di dapur. Tetapi minat saya yang bawa saya kedua kalinya bertanding. Dan saya harap tempat saya juga di hati anda, bukan di dapur dan sebagainya. Saya memilih untuk membantu Reform Party atau Parti Reform menerangkan polisi-polisi mereka agar mereka dapat masukkan ke dalam mungkin fikiran anda semua, agar dapat menuntutnya dari sesiapa pihak yang berada di Parlimen untuk mengetengahkan usaha-usaha anda yang mungkin dah terhancur, derai. Tak ada lagi yang boleh kita pungut ataupun kita bangunkan semula. Jadi parti ini ramailah kita harus ke depan yang di belakang tu, marilah ke depan semua dan kita tempatkanlah amanah mengundi kita dengan sebaik-baiknya dan secermatnya. Tempatlah kami semua di ingatan anda untuk pembaharuan. Vote for Reform Party for total betterment tomorrow today. Vote for Reform Party. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Noraini.
All right, you'll get my vote now.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, a well-known figure, I think you need no introduction. Please welcome Mr. Gilbert.
Yeah!
拉丁马的选民人，您好，晚上好。今晚很荣幸能够代表革新党参与这次的大选。对这次的大选，我有一种使命感。我觉得我有义务为大家争取应有的福利和拿回我们的军人。我是一位辅导员，辅导了很多没工作的新加坡人，经做了6年，每个月也收到30个 email， 叫我帮忙他们辅导他们，很多也是大学生，但是他们跟我讲 ，Gilbert， 我找不到工作，3个月、4个月，有些是6个月，有些是1年。现在新加坡是有一个很大的困难，就是你越有学历，越困难找工作，对吗？我觉得这个是一个很不开心的现象。每年新加坡允许6000个新移民来新加坡定数找工作，他们也可以投票。所以你以为这个是合理的吗？新加坡，你以为这个是合理的吗？不合理的，因为每年有6000个新移民可以投票。
送他们回家。他妈的！
这2年我也帮了很多穷的新加坡人。每2个月我们会把我们的食料分给穷的人，也看到很可惜啊，很可怜的，因为他们很勤劳，他们工作，但是薪水很少，一般是1000到1500以下。所以在新加坡，要是你的薪水是1500以下，是很困难的。我们在红毛桥也看到很多老人家拉纸皮，70岁、75岁、80岁也有。前个月我们放了一个 video 在我们的 Facebook， 这个75岁的男的老年人就很慢的把纸皮放在一个 trolley， 我就访问了他，是6分钟访问，他就说没办法啊 Gilbert， 因为我需要这份钱，每公斤的纸皮只可以卖1毛钱，所以每天他必须要拉100个公斤的纸皮才可以赚到10块钱。我觉得我们的国家很富有，为什么这样多老人要做这份工作呢？有个部长讲，拉纸皮是我们老年人运动的现象。Thank you。所以我不是很愤怒了，我觉得我很伤心啊。我们的部长不完全了解我们的现象，为什么老人家70多、80多岁要工作？我觉得很羞耻，因为我们是富有的，我们是有钱的，但是很多老人家需要工作，我觉得很不开心啊，很心里啊很不安啊。我不生气啊，但是很不开心啊。这个现象很多我的朋友在外国来这里就问我 Gilbert， 为什么看到这么多年老的人工作呢？我真的很难回答到他们。现在新加坡有2个口头禅，第一，你可以死，但是不可以病。你可以死，但是不可以病，因为要是你去医院看病需要很多钱。他们说有监梯啊，然后有 chest card， 但是我们知道是不简单的。我们也收到一个 email， 他去一个，我不要讲他的医院的名啊，他需要给125块的定金去 ANE， 需要一个费用，但是他只有25块在皮包，他就跟这个医院讲，我就可以这个125块的订单寄给我吗？那个医院讲不可以，你这个25块要给我先，连100块我就可以慢慢的让你付回。这25块是他最后的25块，用来把他妈妈可以坐德士回家的。我听了也很不开心啊，心里很不安。我们的条例是很严格的，很多条例，医院要付这个钱你才可以进医院。你看病，我觉得是一个现在老人的最重要的一个事情。我妈妈是85岁了，说她中了风，说每次我带她去看医生，也必须付一点钱了。但是我有一点钱了就可以。我觉得为什么没有钱的怎么办？这很困难的。第二个口头禅就是你没工作去叫德士了，这个是我们新加坡第一个口头禅。你没工作就去叫德士。很多大学生现在30多、40多岁就要去叫德士，为什么呢？为什么我们国家这样富有、这样有钱，就不可以把这批30多岁、40多岁的大学生给他一份工作？又为什么每年有2万、3万个外劳来这里工作了？我觉得这个是很不开心、很不安乐的事情。新加坡，你觉得这个事情你会开心吗？你开心吗？
不开心，我们要。
新加坡人没工作，但是外国人有工作，这个是一个很不好的现象。Next, I'll speak in English, right, for the rest of my speech. I've spoken in Ang Mo Kio GRC, right, 2-3 days ago. I've called the Prime Minister a name which will get missed too, so I will not repeat that. But another name that I can call him is, he's a trader. Prime Minister is our trader. T-R-A-D-E-R, not traitor. I call him a trader. There are 5 reasons why I call my Prime Minister a trader. T-R-A-D-E-R. First reason, he traded our jobs to foreigners via the free trade agreement. More than 170 professions in India are allowed into Singapore without protection for Singaporeans. Right now, there are 400,000 professionals working in Singapore using the harmful EP and S passes. 200,000 using EP pass. Another 200,000 using S passes. In Singapore right now, there's a total of 1.7 million foreigners living here, working here, and residing with us. A lot of them, of course, are construction workers, cleaners, domestic workers. But we are very concerned that there are 400,000 foreigners right now taking away our jobs. Why must we give 400,000 foreigners jobs and we Singaporeans with good degrees and experience have to drive taxi. Is that fair to us Singaporeans? Is that fair to us Singaporeans? Is that fair to us Singaporeans? No, it is not fair. This is my country. I want jobs for my people. I want good, proper jobs, good, proper professional jobs for my people. Why should we give our jobs to the foreigners? People have called me xenophobic. I'm warned not to speak against foreigners. I am not speaking against foreigners. I'm speaking against the policy of allowing too many foreigners into our country. Right now, there are 400,000 of them. If you vote in the PAP for the next 5 years, I can assure you, 400,000 foreigners, you will add another 100,000 foreigners. You will have 500,000 of them over the next 5 years working and competing for jobs with you. 5,000 foreigners right now have fake degrees and they are now working among us. My God, I wish they are not doctors. When my mother was admitted into the hospital for a stroke, I asked the doctor, are your degrees in Singapore or are your degrees foreign? Thank God, his degree is Singapore. If not, I doubt his medical resources to operate on my mother. The second reason why I think my Prime Minister is the traitor is he traded our university places to foreign students. Right now, every year, $400 million are spent to educate and to train foreigner students in Singapore right now. Do you think that is fair, Singaporeans? No. Do you think that is fair, Singaporeans? No. Why must we give $400 million a year to foreigner students when our own people have sometimes to pay a very high university fees to get ourselves educated? Why do we have to send our children abroad to study? My daughter is studying abroad right now. Why can't she study here, my friends? Something is wrong in the country. The third reason why I call my Prime Minister a traitor is because he traded over sovereignty to incoming foreigners. We have lost our culture. There's little integration with foreigners. If you go to certain places, they are there. If you go to Little India, the Indians are there. If you go to a certain place, the influx, the enclave of foreigners are there. Why must we allow that? There are certain places that we're not comfortable to go. Please don't say that I'm xenophobic. I'm stating facts. Right? My coach is a Hong Kong guy, right, who volunteered with us, and my best friend is also from Hong Kong. So I think I'm not anti-foreigner, but I'm anti-immigration. Singaporeans, let's be anti-immigration, but not be anti-foreigner, okay?
Then you better high time to sack the trader.
The fourth reason why I call my Prime Minister a traitor is because he has traded our wages to incoming foreigners. Do you know that our wages over the last 5 years have not increased? Have not increased because our wages are depressed over the years by incoming foreigners who are willing to take on cheaper, lower jobs. A certain minister has asked us to protect our lunch, but yet there's little protection for Singaporeans. Jobs are lost just like that. If you are retrenched or sacked, if you go to MOM, they say, if you earn 4,500 a month, I cannot help you, sir. MOM will ask you to get a lawyer to fight for you. Is that fair to us Singaporeans? Is that fair to us Singaporeans? It's not fair to us. Our jobs are not protected. Any company can sack you right now, and you have no resources. MOM cannot help you. There's no trade union. A trade union is toothless. Tribalism has harmed us. Our Labour Minister is asking us to go abroad to get work experience before we can come back to compete with jobs with the foreigners right here. Chan Chun Sing, our Labour Minister, has asked us to go and gain experience abroad and come back after that to compete with foreigners for jobs. Is that fair to us Singaporeans? Is that fair to us Singaporeans? This is my country. Why must I go abroad and gain experience before I can come back to get a job in Singapore? That's not fair to us. This is my country. Why should we allow such policy to harm us? 6.9 million population by the year 2030. Right now, I believe we have hit 6 million. Do you think we have hit 6 million Singaporeans right now? Maybe more. Certain minister has talked about 10 million population, but let's look at 6.9 million. Trains have break down. It has caused the transport minister to lose his job. Liu Tak-Yu has resigned. Let's give Mr. Liu a hand, man. Well, he has taken the big step, the honor to resign, and he has to, because we have 3 big transport failures over the last 5 years. And over the last 5 years, you have more than 100 to 200,000 foreigners coming in. If you vote in the PAP, I can assure you, 6.9 is for you to stomach.
I know 6.9 million. Where to find a job for another 2 million? Singapore with no more jobs.
Yeah, that's right. We've done protests in Hong Lim Park over the last 3 years. We've garnered about 10,000 people coming down to Hong Lim Park. And I'm sure if you do it more over the next few years, we garner more people. 6.9 million, something that's harmful for Singaporeans. All over the stadiums in Singapore, all over the rallies, people are talking about this policy because it is harmful. It is something that will deny you of jobs. It's something that will deny you of dignity. You might even have to be assured of a job because the HR, the human resource person, is someone who will interview you, and is likely he's a foreigner. Is likely he's on EP pass. Is likely he's on yes pass. And the one that approve you for the next job is likely a foreigner. And the one that he works under will be a foreigner, my friend. I have people who have told me that their bosses are foreigners, their subordinates are foreigners, their co-workers are foreigners, and they are the minority workers in the company. That is not nice, Singaporeans. That is not good. Is that fair to us, Singaporeans? It's not fair to us. Right. We are a minority worker in an MNC company, and this is something that we are not happy about. So when you vote this time round, you don't vote only for yourself, my friends. You vote for your children. Because in 5, 10, 20 years time, this 6.9 million population white paper will hurt them. You're also voting for your children. Because your children were married and give birth. And this population white paper is something that's futuristic. But we have a glimpse of it. This white paper was only implemented 3 years ago. But now, 2015, we have to go to the MRT trains. Right? There's a lot of people that we fight over. And sometimes you have to take the 4th or 5th train before you can board the train. And it's a daily affair. So over a daily, twice a day nightmare, right? You'll be doing this for 5 days a week if you work. So you have 10 trips of MRT trips, and over a week you have 10 trips, and you have a nightmare 10 days, right?
Because the government never planned too much immigrant, and they never provide transport. Now they realize too late already.
The last reason why I call my Prime Minister that he is a traitor is because he traded us on our space. Singapore is a small nation. I've lived in Australia for 5 years. Australia is also a big immigrant city. About half of Australians are actually immigrants or more. But they are big. They are at least 100 to 200 times the size of Singapore. But we are just a very small little island. Our Prime Minister has traded our space over to the foreigners when they bring in 1.8 million foreigners right now to stay with us. It is something that we are not getting adjusted to. I'm sure Singaporeans, you have tasted this. Over the last few years, you feel that buses are getting crowded, trains are getting crowded, our flats are getting crowded. Right, there are more people coming in. And I stay in Punggol Punggol is now half complete and is already quite congested. If it's fully complete, I believe it's as bad as Ang Mo Kio here with you. So vote wisely, my friends, because you're not voting for yourself only, you're voting for your children. You're voting for your children. Vote for change. Vote for the Reform Party. And vote for us. Thank you, Singaporeans. Good night.
Thank you, Gilbert. Our next speaker, please welcome Mr. Gary.
Good evening to the people of Radin Mas. How are you all guys tonight?
Not so good.
I'm Gary. I've been invited by the Reform Party to give a speech. To the people of Radin Mas, I would just like to ask you one fundamental question. How have your life been for the last 10 years? Was it great? Was it wonderful? Or were you retrenched? You lost your job? Your pay got lesser? And do you think that your life will be better in the next 5 years? Do you think your life will be better? Do you think it will get better? So for the people of Radin Mas, think very, very carefully before you put your vote. Ask yourself before you really vote. The Reform Party wants to be your voice. The Reform Party wants to accompany you in the journey for the next 5 years. We want to have a better tomorrow today for the people of Radin Mas. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, a candidate from Ang Mo Kio. Please welcome Mr. Osman.
Good evening, Singaporeans and voters of Radin Mas. The reason why we are here today is because we want to make your life better. The reason why you have to vote for our candidate, Mr. Kumar Apavu, is because we are not a single policy champion. We champion for every issue. The reason why you have to vote us is because we have the heart. We have the dedication to serve voters of Radin Mas. I am very honored to stand here and contest under the Reform Party ticket. I'm a candidate in Ang Mo Kio GRC. Under the leadership of Lee Hsien Loong, the statistic is there. Singaporeans are facing more hardship than ever. The increased cost of living is affecting all of us. They try to confuse you and to give you carrots like upgrading. But what they don't address is the food on your table. They can clear your drains for you. They can cut the grass for you. But what happens when your transportation costs increase? When your food costs increase? They don't bother about the normal average Singaporeans. They put GST on everything. But they remove GST on gold. You see, these are the kind of policies PAP is serving you. On top of that, their liberal immigration policies are affecting many of us. As a HR personnel, I've been in the HR industry 10 years. I've seen every level of the organization being replaced. Jobs like administrator, jobs like finance assistant is being replaced by foreigners because we do not have labor laws to protect Singaporeans. And we know our union is the most unique in the world. There's no union in the world that a minister of the government minister can sit on top of the board. Only in Singapore we have the government minister lead the union. So this is why even when we have union, they are toothless. They cannot fight for the workers. In fact, all over the world, every country, almost all, have minimum wage. This is a fundamental to address issues like of wages, depression of wages. As they bring in cheap labor, there's no protection for locals. I've been unemployed once. I know what it felt to be unemployed. I have to borrow money from my friends, from my relatives, so I start off with a negative in my bank balance. There's no one to help me. And my community, the Malay community, is facing it harder. The discrimination against us by the PAP policy is making us a second-class citizen in our own country. I cannot accept this discrimination because we know discrimination is not good for nation building. The Reform Party believes in inclusiveness. We want progress for all of you, regardless of race, language or religion. And every time when I recite the pledge, I feel that I am excluded because of the continuous discrimination of the Malays in the SAF. I asked a minister, I met one of the minister on a personal setting. It was an informal conversation, and I asked her, what does, okay, I'm going to reveal that it's a she. What does she think about the discrimination the Malay face? And to my surprise, it seems that she has accepted that as a normal part of democracy. She told me that, look, we have discrimination everywhere. So, and I told her, in that case, do we agree to murder? No! So these are the kind of ministers we have in parliament. They have a defeatist mindset. My community has been working hard. The progress made by my community has been outstanding despite the discrimination from the PAP. So in this respect, in this aspect, I gave my thumbs up to my community. It's not because of the government's policy that they have progressed. It is despite the discrimination that they work hard towards progress of the nation. And now, coupled with discrimination from foreign laborers, we are finding it more harder and more challenges. And Mr. Sidik Sanif has urged my Malay community to give support to the PAP. Let's think about it. For 50 years, what has they brought us into? And many of my Malay community know how our Malay MPs perform in Parliament. Issues that affect their heart and soul. These Malay MPs have not spoken up for them. And if you all had followed my political career, you have known that I'm fearless in voicing out for the community concerned. Even at the expense that people say I'm playing racial politics. It is not that. When no politicians dare to bring up the issue, I was there to voice out our community concern. When no one is there to champion for sensitive issues, I was there for them, writing letters to the organization. And I am very, very fortunate to be a part of the Reform Party, because Kenneth Jayaratnam believed for a government to take care of every single one of us. And now, this GE is about how you want Singapore to move forward. And we know the future that the PAP wants to bring us is towards 6.9 million population. This policy has not been deliberated carefully. It has been passed by Parliament without any national referendum, and we have seen the effect of population overcrowding in Singapore. We have seen how the MRT couldn't cope with the increased capacity. We have seen how the PAP do not have the vision to anticipate this problem. As they crowd, as they bring in more foreigners, we Singaporeans feel stressed. And there are more suicide cases now. Even in school children, even in our teens. We have one of the highest suicide rates. This hasn't happened prior to Mr. Lee Hsien Loong leadership. So are we going to vote him in again for the next 5 years? Through his leadership, many of us can feel how Singapore has evolved. And we don't expect our MPs to fight for us. We have MPs in Parliament who spoke 0 times. And they say they represent you. And they are collecting millions of dollars to say nothing in Parliament. We cannot allow this to happen anymore. The people have to agree that the power lies with you. Without more opposition parties in Parliament, the PAP would be complacent. And recently, at my walkabout in Ang Mo Kio, many of them have come forward and told us how they are facing difficulties to pay their medical bills, how they are facing the difficulties because of the increase of price for food. And despite that, although the SMRT are making millions of dollars per year, they have the cheek to ask for a price increase. And our ministers justify that by saying, you want quality, you have to pay. Many of my cousins and relatives who have just gotten married couldn't buy a flat. It is easy to say the flats are affordable, but let me tell you first, the grants that the government are giving you is the money from your left pocket and your right pocket, out from the right pocket. We have asked HDB to be transparent in their financial accounts so that we know how much is the cost to build a flat. Because not long ago, the cost of flats, the price of flats for a 4-room HDB flat is only 100,000. And now, it has shot up to 400,000. And some argue, what's your problem? Wouldn't it be good for you? Now we have been sold to the idea that our flats, our house, our home is an investment. Our house, our home is not an investment, my dear friends. It is a place for us to live. We shouldn't be paying our whole lifetime for a flat we call homes. So I guess in this coming general election, we should not give the PAP a blank check anymore. The Reform Party is here to take care of every Singaporean. The Reform Party to put what is wrong right. The candidate for Radin Mas, Mr. Kumar Apavu, has been active. It doesn't matter where he's active. What matters most is he can voice your concern. What matters most is he has the heart to serve you. So, on the 11th of September, remember your vote counts, my dear Singaporeans. Without your support, the PAP can bulldoze any policy it wants. Put us in parliament. Put us in parliament for West Coast, GRC, for Ang Mo Kio GRC and Radin Mas SMC. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Osman. Well, I got a pointer here from some resident from Radin Mas, and he requested it to be delivered. So I will read it, and if you are agreeable, you just say no, okay? But the line goes like this. Lee Hsiang Long said, if you approve of us, vote for us. If you don't approve of us, vote for somebody else. That's Lee Hsiang Long. Okay, these are the 20 pointers. Singaporeans did not approve 6.9 million population. No? No. Singaporeans did not approve overcrowding of Singapore. No. Singaporeans did not approve withholding CPF. No. Singaporeans did not approve CPF sky-high minimum sum. No. Singaporeans did not approve Medishield Life. No. Singaporeans did not approve high cost of living. No. Singaporeans did not approve high HDB prices. No. Singaporeans did not approve sky-high rental for businesses. No. Singaporeans did not approve high medical costs. Singaporeans did not approve hospital bed shortages. Singaporeans did not approve CECA, preferential treatment given to foreign workers in Singapore. Singaporeans did not approve high COE prices. Singaporeans did not approve sending old folk to JB. Singaporeans did not approve highly stressful educational system for our young children. Singaporeans did not approve overcrowding of public transport, buses and MRT. Singaporeans did not approve frequent MRT breakdowns. Singaporeans did not approve replacing local PMETs with foreigners. Singaporeans do not approve replacing our local teachers with cheaper foreigners with fake foreign degrees. Singaporeans do not approve replacing our local firefighters with cheaper foreigners. Singaporeans do not approve replacing our local patrolmen with cheaper foreigners. Well, thank you, whoever wrote this. At least now we are aware from every angle. And if you were to read today's paper, this PAP minister, they're laughing, all those false kind of pretentious kind of smile, we can feel, it's not genuine. In the way they shake hands. Okay, now I would like to call upon Mr. Kumar, our candidate for Radin Mas.
Yeah,
Okay, Mr. Kumar. Sorry, it's a mistake. I would like to call upon a Chinese speaker, one of the candidate of West Coast, Mr. Darren, because there's a lot of Chinese viewers now. Thanks.
Hello. Good evening, fellow Singaporeans. How are you today? Today I will deliver my speech in two languages, first in English and second in Mandarin. Good evening, Singaporeans. Are you awake? I'm Darren So. I'm a Singaporean. I'm born here. I grew up in Bukit Ho Swee area. I live here for 20 years. After finishing my NS, I worked in Hong Leong Finance for 6.5 years. I worked part-time and I got a degree in RMIT Australia. I've also been a grassroots leader for 20 years, helping the PAPs in the MPS. PAP says Singapore is a first-class society, but I was wondering why is there so many elderly still collecting cardboards, drink cans, and selling tissue papers at hawker center. Okay. Why are there so many graduates that can't find jobs and end up driving taxis? Do you think that's right? So, I want to send you a message. Be bold, be courageous, and say no to PAP autocratic rule. Exercise your votes. Vote PAP out for you and your children's future. Support Reform Party. Vote for Reform Party. Send us into Parliament. Vote for Kumar Aparu. Undilah Parti Reformasi. Thank you. Now I address in Mandarin. 亲爱的新加坡同胞，晚上好。我是苏元顺，我是土生土长的新加坡人。我从小在河水山长大，河水山的贫民区长大，在那边住了20年。念完高中，我去服兵役，退伍后半工半读的，在丰隆金融做了6年半的一个经理。我也做了20年的基层领袖。在过去的20年， 我在人民背后默默的付出，可是只看到新加坡人贫富悬殊那么大，富者越富，穷者越穷。特别是一批付出了青春岁月为新加坡打拼的夹心层，竟然找不到一份可以养家糊口的工作，这是什么原因呢？这是因为行动党他聘请了一大批的外劳，聘请了大批廉价的外劳，抢走了我们的工作，抢走了我们的饭碗。你认为这是合理的吗？不合理。人民行动党说我们是第一流社会，可是新加坡越来越发达，越来越多的老人家不能在家里玩儿弄孙，反而要在小贩中心捧果比水碗卖 tissue paper， 这是为了什么呢？所以我希望你们就好像刚才我的前面的同僚所说的，你们要为了你们自己还有你们的子孙，为了有更美好的将来，我恳求你们选我们进国会，我们一定会全心全力的为弱势群体、低下层老百姓替你们发言，因为我们有良心，我们会爱你，我们会改善你们的生活。下面是我们革新党给你们的承诺，如果我们当选，第一就是归还公积金给55岁以上的老人，第二推行儿童福利，确保每名孩童每个月可获取300元，65岁以上500元。第三，推行最低工资计划。第四，限制外籍劳工的数目，同时也确保他们的素质。第五，免去65岁以上、18岁以下的医疗保健费用。第六，给予新加坡公民 GIC 和大马戏控股。所以我现在要恳求你们珍惜你们手中的一票，为了你跟你的子孙有更美好的未来，我恳求你们拿出你们的勇气，向行动党说不，投革新党一票。谢谢大家。
Thank you. Our next speaker, our General Secretary, Mr. Kenneth J. Ranam.
My fellow Singaporeans, voters of Radin Mas, a very warm welcome to all of you. Tonight, we are here to support our candidate for Radin Mas, Mr. Kumar Apavu. Let's hear a big round of applause. Mr. Apavu is my chosen candidate for Radin Mas. He has the political pedigree, the skills, and the experience on the ground. He has the experience in running a business to make sure that he will do a good job of running your town council. I wouldn't be putting him up or giving him my endorsement is I didn't believe him to be the best man for the job. So let's give him a big round of applause. So we all know where the problems are and where our discontent is coming from with the PAP. The Reform Party manifesto, which will be out tomorrow, in very simple terms, is that we can do better for our citizens. We are a rich country. In fact, we shouldn't be compared with other countries. We should be compared with global cities like New York, London, Paris, Beijing. We are probably in the best strategic location in the world. For the past 500 years, this has been the most strategic location geographically. Let me tell you what we are not. Reform Party is not a party of redistribution. That means we don't believe in punishing taxes for the middle income levels and above. We don't believe in a welfare state. That doesn't mean we don't believe in better safety nets. We don't believe in taking from the defense budget to put into another budget like healthcare. In fact, Reform Party might raise the defense budget because we would like to reduce national service to a year and have a professional army. So, all of you will say, where does the money come from to finance our program? I've looked at the government statistics, and we have more than enough money to invest in healthcare without taking it from anywhere other than our surplus. We just have a better plan for managing the nation's money, to give a more equal share and to invest where it counts, in the citizens, in healthcare, education and pensions. A supporter wrote to me before the election and he said to me, Kenneth, how can we vote the opposition in without damaging the economy? I'm sorry, my friend, but that is the wrong question. How can you not vote us in to save the economy and our way of life? If you don't vote us in, then the PAP will keep the economy growing, but at what cost? The PAP economic plan is simple. A child can understand it. Keep growing the population, not with Singaporeans, but artificially, through immigration. Bring the workers, the foreign workers, the cheap labor, in at the bottom and get the GDP up at the top. Along the way, make your leaders richer and squeeze us citizens in the middle. I ask you, how can you not vote Reform Party into Parliament? Ours is the economic plan that will save Singapore and protect our future. Now, halfway through the election, we are at midpoint now. The PAP are trying to persuade you of two things. One, that they are responsive. Well, they've been saying they're responsive for 50 years. And that their plan will work. Mr. Lee said recently It's not just about integrity, which we have, but it's also about concrete plans, which he says the PAP also have. He said they have well thought out plans, and that our plans have sprung out of nowhere a few days before the election. I'm sick of this negative campaigning. Attack our plans if you can, Mr. Lee. Debate with me, but don't attack our core credibility. That's a lie and it's a dirty smear. Yes, the PAP plan goes way back, but it's stale, it's stagnated, and it's failed. It doesn't work for 2015, let alone the future. Reform Party is the party that stuck around. Our manifesto has been modernized and updated for GE2015, but it's basically the same. It's been written by an economist with 25 successful years of investing huge sums of money for institutions. It has been refined by veteran politicians. It was well in place before this government called a snap election. Next, Tarman will tell you that our plans won't work because we can't pay for them. That is also not true. Let me go into detail about 3 specific pledges. We have said if we are elected into government, we would introduce an old age pension of $500 a month for all those over the age of 65. We have said that we would pay all mothers, all Singaporean mothers, child benefit of $300 per month per child up to the age of 18. And we have said we would abolish MediShield life premiums for over 65s and under 18s. I have worked out the total cost of these measures, and I estimate them to be around $6 billion a year. We could restrict it to the bottom 60% of the income distribution, in which case the cost would be considerably lower, but then you create negative incentives to stop working or disguise your income. Now, Tarman says we cannot spend even this relatively small amount without putting Singapore on the road to Greece. He says the government is already maxing out the contribution from the reserves. What is known as the net investment returns contributions. Tarman law, he can only invest 50% of the income from GIC and Temasek. He says he is already investing that. Well, he's telling you a lie. The numbers don't add up. Just the cash surplus is about $25 billion a year. So there are 2 points. You can see that the $8.5 billion figure is nowhere near 50% of the real surplus. In any case, the 50% rule can easily be changed if needs be. You can find the real surplus number on page 85 of the government's monthly digest of statistics. These are not my figures, but the government figures. This figure, that's the cash surplus, was about $25 billion in 2012 and 2013. That's the cash surplus. Doesn't even include the returns from GIC and Temasek, but merely the dividends paid to the government. So 50% of the cash surplus number is $12.5 billion. Secondly, Tarman pretends that those returns, the net investment returns contribution, is used for current spending. But actually it's not. It's shuffled into funds which are supposed to be used for long-term spending. Very little of this money is spent in the year it is allocated. For example, Tarman allocated $8 billion to the Pioneer Generation Fund in 2014, but he only budgeted to spend $250 million that year. At most, he is spending $400 million per annum. Yet he pretends he's using the whole of the net investment returns contribution in that year. So the NIRC, the net investment returns, are not used for current spending, but are shuffled into funds that are not transparent and not accountable. We don't know where the money is going. We rarely see audits for these funds. I've highlighted the Productivity Fund, which is under the Prime Minister's control. Tarman has put $3.5 billion into that. We haven't since 2011. We haven't seen any accounts. We haven't seen any audit by the Auditor General. We're just told that most of the money has been spent. So what has happened to it? And if it was supposed to increase productivity, why has our productivity been negative for the last 4 years? So my answer to Tarman would be that we can easily finance our spending program if the net investment returns contribution is used for current spending rather than the current farce in which it never comes out as GIC and Temasek but is immediately reinvested through a new fund. But even this cash surplus is far too low. The government's disclosed total assets are certainly too low. Again, you can find those in the parliamentary statement of the budget, the statement of assets and liabilities. I've done some work on that. If we add up the operational surplus, the revenues from land sales, and Temasek's total assets, and subtract them from the government's disclosed figure for total assets, then this would mean GIC's total assets are considerably less than the total government debt outstanding. That means that GIC must have lost money. But that must be a nonsense. The government says GIC has made a long-term return after inflation of 5%, which is considerably more than it pays to CPF holders. The government pays you, or for 60% of your funds, 2.5%. So it must be making more than that. So what can we conclude when the books are hidden from us? Why are the books hidden? We can only draw 3 conclusions. 1, the PAP are hiding huge hidden assets from Singaporeans, so they can tell you that there's no money there. That's very likely. The PAP, this is number 2, the PAP has lost a lot of our money through mismanagement. Quite likely. Number 3, there's been fraud. But that's impossible because, as everyone knows, and Goh Chok Tong tells us, the PAP are their own check and balance. So on the PAP's own figures, our extra spending for cash benefits is easily financeable, unless there's something wrong with the PAP's own figures. There was another point in Tarman's press conference. He said that you are getting a better deal from your government than citizens of countries with welfare states. He said the bottom 10% of Singaporeans gets 6 times or $6 in subsidies for every $1 you pay in taxes. He said the median Singaporean, I think, is getting $1.20 for every dollar he pays in taxes. I don't know where he gets his figures from. He never discloses how the methodology of these studies, how they're worked out. But I'll tell you one thing. It's rather like, when the PAP talk about giving you a subsidy, it's rather like being told that you can only eat at Raffles Hotel. You can order chicken rice at $50 a plate, but they'll give you 10% off, so you pay $45. And it's the same thing with HDB. So PAP say, you have to pay our inflated prices. We restrict the supply so that prices go up all the time, but we will give you a subsidy to make HDB affordable. And then they say, they are very generous government. They're giving you a huge subsidy. And the same with education and healthcare. Many citizens in countries with welfare states get those things for free, whereas the government charges you a Rolls-Royce price and then gives you a discount so that they can say that they're giving you a big subsidy. So this is rubbish. So now the government will be trying to persuade you that they are responsive. Not really. They got a bad report card, and they made the minimum of effort to convince you they are working harder. But it's just more of the same thing. It's minor tweaks. I can promise you, if you vote them in again in complete control, if you don't vote in credible alternatives like me to ask the right questions in Parliament, if you don't put the power, the management, the decision about your future back in your own hands, then the day after this election, they will go back to the old ways and another 50 years of smoke and mirrors. And they will double the population by 2030. Another 5 years of this, and I'm not sure that even I can save the situation. So don't do it. Vote wisely. Vote for yourself. Vote for Singapore. Vote for a brighter future today, tomorrow, today. Vote for the Reform Party.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kenneth. Let us welcome the candidate for Radin Mas, Mr. Kumar Apawu. Give him a big hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to everyone. Can I show of hands who are from Radin Mas, please? Good. For your information, I have made every effort from the day of the nomination, not physically, but by the way of putting my name tag on the door, that I am a serious player in Radin Mas. So that when 11th of September comes, you know what to do. Now, since you are very patient, I'd like to make you a little bit bored because it involves your daily lives. It's going to happen to have an effective opposition in Parliament. This government is for ordinary people, or is this government for a special breed of people? You pay top dollars, you got peanuts in CPF. The ordinary people in the streets are prepared to let disabled ones lead, but expect these able people, men, to be empathy. But the PAP hard-headed and statistical approach, everyday money, everyday GDP. What happened? Gives you the impression they are beginning to care less for the people because they are no more People Action Party. They are of the days of the past. In the eyes of many, PAPs begin to shed the image. So what happens? When they shed image, but when the last election came, you only had 7. Numbers has to climb. Deny them the 2/3 majority. That is the answer, not for us also, for the people around Singapore. If you are not going to make the right choice, it is going to be nightmare for not for these 4 years, but the next 50 over years to come. Please do make a right choice. Many Singaporeans felt left behind because they could not follow the pace of change, and they resented this. Not that much, only 7. But I hope the number can be double or triple. We have to be honest with the people. We misread them, but should not be misread for the intention that always the interest of Singapore for Singaporeans. Okay, now it's going to be very, very critical. Year 2015, I have the present situation. The past of the 50 has been in the Golden Jubilee. You have seen the past. Wonderful. It encompasses housing, it encompasses healthcare, whatever things that comes under the cost of living. But looking forward, my fellow citizens of Singapore, do you want your CPF at 55 or 75? So, when we are looking forward, we have to make adjustment now. We have to make adjustment each and every time when the things has to be evolved. Not after 55 years. So what happens at the end of the day? You have to focus your mind and ask yourself this question. You have kids now. You have elderly people who have to be served. I had this one story I like to share with you. Okay? It's just hear me out, okay? I got a very good friend. He sent his mother to the old age home for the past 6-7 years. Okay? After so long, he's a very educated, high caliber people. Okay? After such a long time, the mother asked him, son, I need aircon. I need fridge. I need a queen size bed. The son asked the son asked his mother, why, mommy? Your days are numbered. No, son. When the time comes for you, you need that all. Remember that. We have to be able to understand ourselves so that we take care of our elders. And we have to take care of the young. The stress that going through our minds of all our youngsters today is, can I afford a HDB flat? Prime Minister, in the last election, the issue was about housing. Housing. What happened today? You have an oversupply. but the prices of a house are not going down. Why? Could Koh Boon Wan explain the situation to the Singaporeans? Be realistic. How can a person afford $400,000 when he had a combined wages of only $4,000, and for his rest of his life of 30 years, pay interest after interest? You want us to have more babies? The root of this problem that is coming today because of foreign people, because of other accumulated causes, because my generation of people didn't produce much more. If you really look at it, why? Because we are stressed. We go back, wake up 6 o'clock. If I work in Jurong, run. Catch my first ferry, go over. Come back, 10 o'clock. Where got time to do baby lah? You understand? This election is about realistic life. Cost of living is not about CPF alone, my dear friends. It is about unity, fear, piety. Coming to this election is not about anything. I'm a minority candidate, they said. I'm not a heavyweight, they said. But I am putting this thing across to everybody. I'm just a human being. I want to serve not only Indians or Malay, but the Chinese, because they are the one who are going to put me in parliament, and I will take care of them. Sorry to say that, people, because 50.1% is what I want. If I can get it, I'll prove to the people of Radin Mas, I can do it. Let us do it, because in this election, you have never seen any minority from the ruling party. Tell Mr. Lee Hsien-loong what is the integration has happened today. Please, Thelma, Discern, where is the minority candidate in the SMC? You have neglected us. We have to serve people regardless of race, language, or religion. Our blood, our need rate. When you go to hospital, what happens? You need something very realistic in life, my dear friends. Why you talk about army? Why you talk about healthcare? Where is the integration? We are already bypassed the age, but what we have to do is the tolerance level has to be there. Are we being educated in that sense? Are we been improving? And why is the issue of minority has been coming up again? We need to look after the welfare of regardless of race, because different needs, different culture have different issues. Chinese has what we call Buddhist, Christians, Muslim, likewise Indians, even Malay. Why I'm talking that today is because a reporter asked me this question. Kumar, 70% of the population are Chinese. Oh, wonderful. What's my reply to her?
We are Singaporeans, you tell her.
Thank you. How are you going to connect to the people of Radin Mas when they are Chinese speaking? My reply to her is 70% are Chinese, but 80% are literate in English. But I will make every effort to communicate with them if I have to study the dialects, because I am one of them. Because they have other needs, I have to put. Because in the last election I did say one thing, if you could remember, in West Coast. Our founding father Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, if he was in West Coast GRC with 4 minority candidates, and with the other side having all established candidates from the Chinese, who do you vote? Is the founding father? Yes! That is realistic in life. We need a leader. We need vision. But the vision has been lost. The flame is gone. But we need new way to look forward. So please, put your hands, regardless of that, give me your word in 11th of September. Many things is happening in Radin Mas. Issues have to be dealt with. My concern is, I can't reach out to you because why? We are not coming here to see wayang, as what the Prime Minister has indicated. My way of dealing with people is through your doorstep. My message has reached them. I will make every effort to look to it that I can address the issue. Auntie, uncle, pachi, machi. Teochew, good. I'll remember. Maybe the tsunami is coming up. Maybe it's possible in Radin Mas. When I study and learn Teochew, Hokkien, or even Chomakai, K also I will learn. Because I am your people. I have to be part of you. Please break the jinx of a GRC, of a SMC where a minority could not win. Please vote for me in the coming election. My Chinese brothers, please give me your word. Vote the Reform Party. I want to be a voice. Sorry to say that. I want to be your voice. Good day.
Don't worry, JB
Thank you.
is a minority. He was elected in
Thank you, Mr. Kumar.
Don't you know that?
Please vote for him. And for your information, Mr. Kumar's wife is a Chinese, and he got a beautiful son. Sometimes you judge people by the company they keep. He's also a good friend of Mr. Tan Cheng Bock. So this man is not a nobody, you know. Okay, our next speaker. Before that, I would like to show today, Mr. Loh Teck Kiang exposes the PAP. Punggol East was in deficit when Workers' Party took over. So what credibility did PAP people are talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, the next speaker, Roy.
Good evening again, my friends.
Good evening to you, my dear friend.
Good evening, Singaporeans. My name is Roy Ng, and I am a candidate for the Ang Mo Kio GRC under the Reform Party. Now last year, thank you. Last year, I spoke to a man. His father had cancer. I asked the man how he is doing. He told me that things are difficult. The man told me that once his father needed to go to the hospital urgently, but the family was scared. Their hospital bills were going to be very expensive. Their father needed money, needed to go to the hospital urgently, but the family knew that they did not have enough money. They would not be able to pay for the high hospital bills. So the family decided to wait, even though it was very urgent. They first called up the hospital to find out how much the bill would cost. It would cost tens of thousands of dollars. Then they started calling their relatives and friends to ask for money, and even beg for more money. But it was too late. the father passed away because he got to the hospital too late. The family was devastated. Now this is our world-class healthcare system. Can see, but cannot touch, cannot eat. What is the point if our hospitals look like 5-star hotel when our Singaporeans cannot afford to pay for them? Now the hospitals look so pretty, but they are only good for the PAP to show off to the other countries. Now when Singaporeans fall sick, what do we need? We need to get well. But when we cannot afford to go to the hospital, how can we get well? 那3个月，我跟一个女士谈，她跟我说她的故事。那她的妈妈也有癌症。那他们的家庭要还他妈妈的医药费的时候，他们想用他们的保健储蓄来还。但是医院跟他们说，你只能用几百块。但是他跟医院说，但是我妈妈的保健储蓄里有4万块，为什么我只能还几百块？那他们的医药费1万块，但是他们只能用几百块。那过后，那个女士和她的家人需要一致去找钱，因为他们筹不了钱还那个医药费。那当我在我的 Facebook 我的面部也是叙说这个故事的时候，很多人的父母还有很多人他们自己本身也跟我说，他们也经历一样的故事，自己也是还不了钱，虽然保健储蓄里很多钱，但是他们还不了那个钱。那如果保健储蓄里有这么多钱，但是我们不可以拿来用，那保健储蓄里的钱是干嘛的？ Now what is the responsibility of a government? It is to make sure that the citizens are taken care of. Now it is not to make money off our citizens. Now do you know that in 2013, Singaporeans have paid nearly 60 billion into the MediSave? 60 billion, that is 10 zeros. But do you know how much Singaporeans could withdraw from MediSave to use? Less than 1.5%. 1.5%. More than 98% of the MediSave went into surplus for the PAP. Where did our MediSave go? Now where did our CPF go? Now the PAP makes us take our MediSave to pay for our MediShield. But where did our MediShield go? Now we will ask the PAP, where is our money? Where is our CPF? Now has the PAP been responsible to Singaporeans? Now has the PAP been responsible to Singaporeans? Yesterday, Tharman said at the PAP's rally that the opposition is trying to scaremonger. He said that is just cheap. He called the opposition cheap. Now he said that there is no country in the world that has been able to provide something for everyone without raising taxes for the middle income group. He also said the PAP is honest. We say what the challenges are. We are quite straight about it. You know what is really honest? The honest truth is that there is no need to raise taxes to provide more for Singaporeans. First, do you know that Singaporeans pay 4 times more indirect tax than personal income tax? This is the highest among the developed countries. Second, do you know that Singaporeans pay 3 times more Social Security or CPF than personal income tax? This is also the highest among the developed countries. Third, do you know that Singaporeans pay 8 times more indirect tax and CPF than personal income tax? This is also the highest among the developed countries. But how much does the PAP return to Singaporeans? For social protection, the PAP only returns less than 50% of what it collects in personal income tax, social security and indirect tax. This is the lowest among the developed countries. Other high-income countries would return 85%, but the PAP only returns 50%. You know what is cheap? This is cheap. Now first, the PAP collects the most out of Singaporeans, but returns the least. This means that the PAP keeps the most for itself, but does not return Singaporeans' money to Singaporeans. Second, the PAP earns tens of billions in surplus from Singaporeans every year, but it does not openly talk about this to Singaporeans. There is all this money sitting there, all of Singaporeans' money, but the PAP does not talk about it. Yet, the PAP will tell us that the HDB is in deficit when they earn huge profits from our land. But do you know what is even more cheap? The PAP takes our CPF to use and earn profits in the GIC and Temasek holdings, huge profits, but does not return the interest it earns to Singaporeans. Now our CPF is very cheap money for the PAP to earn from. This is what is cheap. The PAP is cheap. Now when the PAP takes our CPF to give GIC to use, but PAP does not want to tell Singaporeans for more than 15 years, and only admitted last year for the very first time that it has taken our money to use in the GIC, this is what is cheap. Now, the Reform Party said that we would provide $500 every month for all elderly Singaporeans aged above 65 on top of the CPF. Why? Now, this is because we want all elderly Singaporeans to be able to retire with dignity, with real dignity. Now, we have calculated that this will cost less than 10% of the current tens of billions in surplus. The Reform Party has done our maths. Who is the one who is fear-mongering among Singaporeans? Reform Party has done our maths. But why does the PAP say we fear-monger? The PAP themselves are the ones who fear-monger among Singaporeans for the past 50 years. The PAP is the one who has collected taxes from Singaporeans but does not return it, and that they do not have enough taxes to pay for us. Now, is this right? Now, Tharman said, when you think of free healthcare and free social services, you must realize that it is not free.
Singapore go bankrupt!
Of course we know it's not free. Singaporeans have been the one telling the PAP that you are taking our money. And that's why we're telling the PAP to return our money. Return our CPF. Now what did the PAP do? The PAP says they're going to spend the money on you. $38 million in Ang Mo Kio to make it look more beautiful. Where does this 38 million come from? It comes from Singaporeans' money. It is the PAP who must realize that when it takes our money to use, it is not free. This is not the PAP's money. This is your money. This is our money.
Taxpayers' money!
Now enough is enough. Singaporeans do not need the PAP to spend more money to make things to look pretty. We are not vain. We are not like the PAP. Now Singaporeans, let me ask you one question. If you have $38 million today, would you use it to make Ang Mo Kio look pretty?
No.
Or would you use it to protect Singaporeans?
Yeah. crazy.
Put in your pocket better.
Now, of course, Singaporeans know things are not free. We have been paying the money. But does the PAP knows that it is not free? Does the PAP know that when they take our money to pay themselves millions of dollars, it is not free? Does the PAP know that when they take our money to earn huge profits, it is not free? Now, enough is enough. We will no longer take this bullying from the PAP. Enough is enough. Now we have to stand up on our own 2 feet, and we'll tell the PAP, we will no longer take your bullying. Now you sit down, and we will be the ones to tell you what to say and what to do. Because we are the citizens of Singapore.那一个政府，我们可以动动自己的良心。我们需要问一下，政府对新加坡人的责任是什么？当我们看到自己的新加坡人因为不能去医院而需要死，你觉得这是对的吗？那当我们看到自己的新加坡人不可以及时赶到医院而死，这公平吗？当我们看到自己的新加坡人生病而不能看医生，不能去医院，我们还有心跟他们说，你们需要自力更生，你们要自己帮自己吗？那人民行动党，你们还有良心吗？一个政府的责任对新加坡人是什么？当我们看到自己的新加坡人是备受伤害，我们还可以站在一旁不帮他们吗？难道人民行动党没有一颗心吗？那人民行动党，你们的良心跑去哪里了？
被狗咬去了。
那人民行动党，你们有没有良心？那 where is your heart, the PAP? When we see our own Singaporeans suffer, but we let them suffer.
Dog bite already.
And we tell them that you have to rely on yourself. Self-reliance is when the PAP earns their own money and does not take our own taxpayers' money to pay themselves millions of dollars. That is self-reliance. Self-reliance is paying Singaporeans enough so that we can rely on ourselves and we do not have to rely on the government. Self-reliance is to give Singaporeans a minimum wage so that we can help ourselves. Do not tell Singaporeans to rely on ourselves when you do not even give us enough to rely on ourselves. Then that is just selfish. Now we do not hate the PAP. But we Singaporeans believe that the government has a responsibility to its citizens. Our government has to take care of the Singaporeans. When we see our citizens suffer, we cannot stand by and let that happen. No, we cannot. As Singaporeans, as citizens, we have a duty to stand up and speak up for our country. We have a responsibility to fight for our citizens. Now, my friends, it is time for us to stand up and take our country back. Now it is time to use our hands to take back our land. Now it is time we stop the PAP from bullying Singaporeans. It is time to stand and fight back. For far too long, we have been taking this sitting down. We have let the PAP run us down while we keep quiet. Now enough! Enough! It is enough! No more bullying! It is time we give the PAP their own medicine! It is time we make the PAP the opposition! It is time we let the PAP knows what it feels like to keep talking but not be heard. It is time we let the PAP know how it feels like to not have a voice. Now it is time we take back our parliament so that Singaporeans, we can go into parliament to debate on policies and to make policies to protect Singaporeans. Singaporeans, I will be your MP. We will be your MP. We will be your voice in Parliament. Now I will look at evidence, facts, and information. I will put them together, and I will propose solutions so that we can improve the lives of Singaporeans. Because all of us, regardless of our income level, regardless of who we are, we all matter in this country. That we will fight for Singapore, and we will fight together with you. Majulah Singapura! Majulah Singapura! Majulah Singapura! Now it is time we fight for our own dignity. It is time we fight for our own pride.
Singapore doesn't belong to PAP.
It is time we gain our land. And it is time we regain our lives.
Send the PAP to the funeral. Now it's 7 months. Send them to the funeral.
And it is time we regain what belongs to Singaporeans in Singapore, in our homeland.
Yeah.
Majulah Singapura!
Majulah Singapura!
Majulah Singapura!
Majulah Singapura!
Majulah Singapura!
Majulah Singapura!
Now on 11 September, when you go to the ballot box, vote for us. Vote for Reform Party. Mark a cross next to the Reform Party. Remember our faces. We will work for you. We will fight for a brighter future tomorrow, today. Vote for us. Vote for Reform Party. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roy. Fire in the belly. That's really a speech. Our next speaker, a former PAP man, multifaceted in talent of handling town council. Please welcome Mr. Siva.
Hi, good evening, Singaporeans. Okay, anyway, there's a correction. I'm not a former PAP person. I hate PAP. Okay, I am a former RC manager, work in PA. Okay, I joined PA to serve the resident, not to serve PA or PAP. Okay, I would like to touch on few topics. Okay, today when I was sitting down, I see most of you, in fact all of you, are actually standing for the past 2-3 hours. Why are you all standing here? Are we showing any entertainment? Is there any performance going on? But why? Okay, I do agree, it's difficult to, as a government, it's difficult to please every citizen. But it's a government duty not to neglect any citizen. So I believe you people has been neglected. That's the reason why you are here. Okay, I believe everyone should be taken care of, should be given equal opportunity, and that's the duty of the government.
Yeah.
I believe the government is the greatest servant of the nation.
Yeah.
We are the bosses, you are the bosses of the government. But today in Singapore, it looks like the government is our boss. We should change it. If Reform Party comes to power, or if Reform Party goes to Parliament, and definitely we will be always be your servant.
Yeah.
Okay, and I would like to talk about this, the CPF. CPF is not a saving account. CPF, if it's for saving, it's for future, then why the government allow us to use the CPF to buy housing and buy all kind of things?
Yeah, good.
Okay, even when we get sick, we have to use our CPF. Okay, they call it Medisave, but still at all it's called CPF. We want to buy house, we have to use CPF, and these are overpriced house. The same house in the neighboring country can be purchased for 80% minus the value. The same car in Singapore, anyone is driving, can be purchased in the neighboring country 80 to 90% cheaper. Okay, trust me, I've recently checked some of the car prices. I have some friends who are Malaysians working in Singapore. They buy a car for 40,000 ringgit. The same car in Singapore is 110,000. Okay, one more thing. Okay, for the CPF, okay, that's what for my CPF, okay, and when you look at our Reform Party manifesto, okay, just now Mr. Roy have touched it, okay, the $500 for the elderly people above 65. I think this is like what Mr. Roy says, very crucial to keep them with dignity, because right now when I was working in RC, there are a lot of senior citizens who need money, and some of them, they don't dare to approach these RCs because these people are neglected by the children. So they feel that when they approach the RC will complain to Family Service Center, and these people will dig where is their children, and these people don't want their children to get in trouble. So a lot of people are actually suffering in silence. Okay, by the way, before anything, I would like to announce we need polling and counting agents. If you are interested to volunteer, please volunteer for us. Okay, I hope you guys will volunteer for us. Okay, and in terms of universal health coverage, okay, I am telling it from my personal experience. Okay, my grandmother was sick and she was admitted in one of the government hospital. Okay, and the doctor, rather than giving us hope, the doctor every day come and tell us, every hour in fact, her liver is failing, her kidney is failing, everything is failing. So why is he there as a doctor? I rather keep her and see everything failing. So immediately we take her, forcefully discharge her from the hospital, we bring her to a private hospital. Okay, which charge 3 to 4 times more than the government hospital. But there the doctor said something, got hope. So that's where money talk. And I believe in hospital, I believe in a country, the education and healthcare should be free. Okay, and everyone should be given equal education. There should not be education institute where the rich can go and the poor can go. Everyone should be provided with one standard of education. There should be healthcare. There should be hospital. No private hospital, no even government hospital should be like private hospital. Right now the standard is different. Okay, and I feel that this is very important. There should not be any difference in healthcare. Okay, these are the most vital thing I believe. It's important for Singaporeans. In terms of universal healthcare, okay, there are a lot of people who can't afford to pay for medical bills and everything. Okay, like what Mr. Roy have already touched about it. Look at it, we call ourselves first world country. Can we leave someone to die just because they don't have money? When I was working in RC, a lot of people come with polyclinic bills, $1,000, $2,000, and these are needy residents. When they every time go to polyclinic, the polyclinic insists them to pay some sum, and these people really don't even have money to buy for food, but still they are obligated to at least give $5, $10. Okay, I should appreciate the polyclinic, at least still give them the money, even though the outstanding is $1,000, even though they put a $5. But what's the need for the $5? These people are already suffering. So we should do something for these people. End of the day, for me, it's like, I want my Singaporeans to be given equal opportunity. Right now, we look at Singapore. We see all the tall buildings, we see all the IRS building, but inside the houses, we are suffering in silence. Our life is like a bird in a golden cage. From outside, the cage looks nice and it's gold, but inside the bird won't be happy. I feel we are also like that. Our HDB house is like a golden cage. We are inside, a lot of people are suffering. Okay, due to time constraint. Okay, thank you for your presence. Please support Reform Party. Okay, Reform Party will be there to serve you, and we will serve each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Please vote for Reform Party. Unggal voter Reform Party ke. Anja diragal. Reform Party unggal pakam. Baik pada vendam. Nah, ini keren. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a hard day. Sunday is a nice night. Tomorrow back to work and stress. Enjoy. Thank you for coming tonight. Bye. See you. Vote for the Reform Party.
Anything? Nothing already.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are calling for polling and counting agents. Please go to the cell booth and register yourself as counting or polling agent. We need these agents to make sure that the votes are fair. Please register your interest at the merchandise area. Thank you.
The government put the blame on the ex-bar. So that means no compensation, no nothing, everything covered up. But we tell somebody you die. They say got plenty of trees, no time to maintain the tree, and no time to maintain the tree. Heavy storm comes, we mustn't drive the road. Center divisor, all big trees, going CPKE and the tree fell, you die. That's all. Okay, this one I want to give it to you. You can save all your candidates and tell them what happened. Why is this one covered up? So this one. Oh yeah. Okay, this one is a man called P.K. Modi. You can take photo of it. Okay, this man used Mr. LKY picture inside the annual report book. With the annual report book, take out annual report book and raise funds, about 400 million. And then, yes, it's all got here. I assure to you. LKY remains in a commercial game, then he disappears. I raised 8 letters, more than 8 letters. They've given me. So this is the annual report book. This is the share annual report book. Media ring, and then they change name to SI to I. So this is the thing. LKY also gonna con by this man. And now this man, report no use because this one is 15,000 shares, 14,000 shareholders. Where Where is mine? Oh, Lee Kuan Yew is good friend. He welcomed these people, and on 1st of April, he came here to the Channel New Asia Singapore Media Corp and received a luminary award. So I was so fed up. I write in so many letters about this guy. I want to give this to you. And Mr. I saw how he buttered you today, Mr. Lawrence Wong. Mr. Lawrence Wong say in the paper here, say that anybody use Mr. LKY picture or image to raise funds is an offense, but I don't know, nobody get announcement again. So please look into this, something very interesting here.
Lee Kuan Yew's brother also knows.
No news, So this man is fully responsible.
SGX.
Okay, SGX former CEO, Mr. this one, Magnus, he already left already. He take a lot of money, and he should be accountable for all kinds of unreasonable approval in SGX listed company, including China Blue Chip, China S-Chip, China S-Chip, not Blue Chip, China company all siphon the money and hung off and cabut. The worst will capital reduction of share by 1,000 shares in just one company called SI2I remain 2.5 shares. I down for 20,000 shares is only worth 50 shares, and the share is completely no use. So this one is completely sealed. You can look into it. Okay. Then just now we talk about CPF investment, allowed to buy house, allowed to buy share, and 40% of the people money get burned. 40% gone. So this one, many investors get the what you call it, the head burn. So Porter, you like to take all this very interesting one. This is regarding CPF. So there's nothing our government can do. They never get any protection. So our CPF money siphoned away by those foreigners who come here and pretend to be a dictator, and the government not protecting our citizens' investment. I wrote in so many letters until I get fed up. Letter outside.
Huh? Off. Hotspot, okay. Leave it. It's okay. You take the details. You want to do hotspot? Leave the thing here. Okay, you hold the mic. Okay. You want to do hotspot? Okay. Hold up, man. Leave the thing. Okay. Start. Oh, come on. It's okay. You hold the mic. You just hold the mic. Okay, No. It's okay. Leave it here. Okay. You just hold the mic. Okay, you have to. Hold on, Mike. Take a nice first. Okay, let's go.
Hello, Happy TV, local independent media. We are live streaming all the rallies.
Okay.
Do you mind if we just ask you a few quick questions? Okay, so first question, what do you think about the new slate of PAP candidates and leaders, and are they able to continue Lee Kuan Yew's legacy?
Honestly, I think there are a few good ones, but there are also bad ones. I think it goes the same with the opposition. There are good and bad also. So I'm just a bit disappointed that because of the whole GRC system, right, the good ones sometimes don't get their seat, and sometimes the bad one gets a free pass in. So that's my disappointment in the other.
What do you think has been Lee Kuan Yew's biggest contribution to Singapore?
I guess his biggest contribution is the PAP. Yeah. So I think up to now, 50 years, his contribution, I mean, we can see throughout here. But I think many things also have not been fully told in its full context and full story, because I guess in the past we don't have social media like now. So I guess you have to wait till everything is fully reviewed that we can take everything into proper context. Yeah.
Okay, next question. How do you feel about the Pioneer Generation package?
Honestly, I haven't really looked into the Pioneer Generation package, so I don't have much to comment on that. Yeah.
Okay, next, what are your views on the AHPETC saga?
I never studied into that, so I won't comment on that as well. Yeah.
Based on what you've heard and read, what have you heard or read about?
I think it's not fair for me to comment if I don't really know so much about it. Yeah.
Okay, next question. Do you think we have a credible opposition, and do you want to see more opposition in Parliament?
Yeah, I do think we have credible opposition. Hearing the rallies going on, and I think they are capable to actually be an alternative voice for Singaporeans, because I feel that if you just have one voice in Parliament, there's no room for discourse and debate, and there's no room for improvement. So yeah, definitely I do see capable oppositions that I feel should actually make their way into Parliament to actually, for the better of Singapore, to improve Singapore, yeah, to give alternate views as well.
So what do you think of the current opposition candidates' performance so far, and which are the ones you feel are more credible?
This is based on my own opinion, but I do see a few from Workers' Party who are quite credible. Dynamic speakers is one thing, but I feel that they do back their talk up with a lot of facts as well. Chee is one from SDP, which I feel is credible as well. I feel his passion for the people speaks volumes about wanting to provide an alternative voice and for the betterment of Singapore as well. And I think Roy also has been a very credible advocate for Singaporean issues as well. His passion, I mean, coming from everything that has happened to him, I think, I think it's something that is admirable that he's still standing up for Singaporeans up to this point. Yeah, so I think I think these are the few that I in my opinion are credible and capable to go in and speak for Singaporeans. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry, what's your name?
Yao Ming. We're doing live streaming of all the rallies. So for tomorrow, there'll be select.
So you all are under which company?
The local independent. Yeah, so we just have to. We're not under any other.
So you all have to pay like that, and
I'm just doing I'm not working.
So you are like freelance. Wife?
Oh, your wife. Oh.
You want to be interviewed? She's shy.
Okay, thank you. Uncle, do you mind if we ask you a few questions? 讲华语可以吗？对啊，然后looks like most of the people have gone back. Can you try the couple over there? Let me try the auntie, the two aunties there. Hello auntie. 你可以看在 YouTube 可以看那个 rally 可以看。什么来的？这个网站，你去这个网站可以看网站看看哪一个？看全部都有这些今晚的 rally 对吗？我们在拍您可以直接看，在家里直接看。电脑电脑。我开这个就可以看了。对。那你们来做吗？记者记者，我们拍这个人直接给每个人看哦。放电脑里面给人家看啊。那现在我们跟你讲话，你有放进去吗？有啦。有啊。有啊。你再跟我们放进去，我们放一点。sorry。Nanti yang sebelah sana ada kan? Dari sebelah lah. Hello, we are from Happy TV. Local independent media. You can watch the rallies live. We are streaming it live. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions? No, we're just new here. It's okay, no problem. Just a few simple questions. I don't know how to answer. It's okay, just a few simple questions. It's okay because we're bringing the kids home. Okay. So sorry about that. It's okay, thank you very much. We just come back. Okay, I think I'll sign off. This has been Happy TV's live coverage of Reform Party's rally at Radin Mas Delta Hockey Stadium. We hope you enjoyed the live streaming. And please stay tuned to us and continue watching the other live rallies across for next week. And tomorrow night as well, we'll be covering the rallies live and uncensored. Thank you once again for tuning in, and good night.
You want to do a retake?
Why retake?
You want or not? Okay.